Hello and welcome. Today we are looking at the Xiaomi MiTu drone, courtesy of GearBest.com. Check out their site for more cool quadcopters just like this one. Now this quadcopter has several sensors on it to maintain a solid position and altitude hold, such as optical flow. It has automated features such as auto takeoff and auto land. It has a crisp 720p HD camera that has Wi-Fi FPV streaming. It has battle capabilities with infrared and plenty of other neat features. So let's take a closer look at this drone. Now the drone comes in this small square blue box. Very simple packaging but very elegant. As you can see, the drone is right there in the center. Right here on the side we have a little icon of a character, and most of the writing on it is primarily in Chinese on this box. And right here there's some technical descriptions, but they're primarily in Chinese. And as you can see, this is the MiTu drone, and so very cool, very simple, clean, elegant packaging. So now let's open her up and take a look inside. Let's lift this up here. There we go. So that's the outside of the box here. Right away we have the drone here, as you can see, without the propellers nor the battery. So pretty cool, pretty interesting looking drone. Here we have an inset here, so let's remove this as well. This inset has the manual. So we open it up here. And as you can see, we have this folding manual here, and it's primarily in Chinese, but it shows very clear diagrams and descriptions of all the components, so that's pretty cool. And here is another brochure that comes with it, so that's pretty cool. And then in here we have the propeller guards, 4 propeller guards. We have the battery, which is a very unique proprietary battery here, and this is a 3.8 volt 920 milliamp LiPo battery, so that's pretty cool. And then here on the side we have the micro USB charge cable and the propellers and spare propellers as well. Right here, all the propellers right in one bag, so that's pretty cool. And that should essentially be it, nothing else anywhere else. So let's organize all this and take one last look at the contents of the box. Taking a last look at the contents of the box, we have the drone itself with its 4 propellers, 2 spare propellers, 1 of each orientation, the propeller guards, the 920 milliamp 3.8 volt battery, its micro USB charger, and the instruction manuals and brochures. So that's essentially the contents of the box. Now let's take a closer look at the drone. Taking a closer look at the drone, this is a very unique and interesting looking drone. It is small and is a brushed motor quadcopter. And right here at the top it has its big orange 3.8 volt 920 milliamp LiPo battery, which is proprietary. And as you can see, it has this little character icon right there engraved in the center. Pretty cool. And right here at the bottom it has 4 very rubbery landing legs, so it is well protected against rough landings. And each propeller is denoted with a little color, or at least the proper orientations there, so it's very easy to know which propellers go on which side when you install the propellers. and the propeller guards are very easy to just snap in. This drone has several sensors on it. It has a ultrasonic sensor right there at the bottom towards the center, and it also has an optical flow camera right here. So here's the ultrasonic sensor, and here's the optical flow camera, and it's a little difficult to see, but if you look in carefully there, you'll see the little camera there. So that it has optical flow, the ultrasonic sensor, and right here at the front it has IR sensors or infrared sensors for when you battle. And on top of that, it has its HD 720p camera. So definitely full of sensors on board. Right here on the side is its on-off button. So you would keep that pressed, and a small light will appear right here in the center, right there, letting you know that the quadcopter has been activated. We have this button right here on the back, but this one is mainly a battery release. So if you push that, it will simply pop open the battery so that it can be removed. Right here on this other side, we have a micro USB port. And so you would plug your micro USB cable in there to charge the 920 milliamp 3.8 volt battery. And that charging process takes about an hour and 15 minutes or so to complete. And you get about a 10-minute flight time with this quadcopter, which is pretty good. And as far as lights for orientation are concerned, unfortunately there are not too many of them. There's one here at the bottom, I believe one at the front there, and that's about it. So not too many lights for orientation or for night flying. Lastly, to give you an idea how this size compares to some of the other small quadcopters out there, I have here the Tello and the Mambo quadcopters. So as you can see, they're all just around the same size, and all these three drones are very similar. These are all optical flow drones here, and as you can see, it compares very closely to what's currently out in terms of these small drones. So now let's take a closer look at its app. Now, prior to entering the app, of course, you have to connect to the drone's Wi-Fi. So once you turn on the drone by pushing the on-off button there and keeping it pressed, you will have this light turn on indicating that it's on. And so once that's been turned on, you can go into your mobile device's Wi-Fi settings and search for an entry called MiDrone Mini, and it has a serial number there at the end, and you would connect to that. Now, initially on the first time, there is a default password of 1 through 9, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So once you type that in, you will be able to connect to the drone's Wi-Fi. And once that's done, you would launch this app right here. It's called MiDrone Mini. MiDrone Mini, and you could find that in either the Android or iOS app stores. And so you would launch that. And initially there is a registration process, and so you would provide an email and a login, and once you create your account, you could enter the device by pushing enter there. And there is a help tutorial that you would slide through, and once you complete that, you would enter this screen right here. And as you can see right now, we have a live transmission here, feed here. And now the range of FPV and control with this quadcopter using the app is around 50 to 80 meters. So that's pretty good. Now, taking a closer look at the app here, if you push this button right here, it'll take you back to the main screen. This one will perform an auto takeoff. This one will perform a palm auto takeoff from your hand. This one will put the drone in battle mode. So when you push this, if there's another MiTu drone flying, you would have these crosshairs here in the center, and you can attack with these two buttons, and you will deplete the enemy's life right here, and I believe this is the life bar. And once it is depleted, I think it'll perform an auto land because it will have been defeated. And so that's pretty cool, and it essentially uses the IR sensors there at the front of the drone. This right here will allow you to use your phone's accelerometer, so if you tilt your phone in a certain direction, the drone will fly in that direction. This will allow you to perform stunt flips. So these are forward flips, back flips, left flips, and right flips. Here's your throttle and rudder controls. This is for taking pictures. This is for taking video. This shows your battery voltage. This one right here, once you're in flight, you can push that to go into headless mode. And so the orientation will stay relative to you when you took off, and you can disable that if necessary. And now here are some settings here. Here you can go into your gallery. Here you can have some camera settings here to change the resolution, so on and so forth. Here is the Wi-Fi management. So here you can change the password of the drone's Wi-Fi. Here you can perform a firmware upgrade of the drone. Here you can increase the height restriction of the drone. Initially it's at 2 meters, but you can increase it all the way to 25 meters. So that's pretty good. Right here is the horizontal calibration. So you can perform that prior to takeoff. Here is the joystick sensitivity. Now this is essentially the rates of speed in a sense. This will increase your yaw rate and your tilt or your pitch. So basically if you put it on high, you'll be in high speed. Moderate is the middle speed, and low is the low rate. And low is good for you know, taking smoother pictures, while high is more it's higher speed, and you can have more fun flying it that way. And here you can toggle the joystick mode, whether you do mode 1 or mode 2, basically switching which controls the altitude and which controls the yaw. And here's the beginner's guide, which is basically a few pages helping you set up for the first time. So that's essentially it for the app. Now in this version of the app, I didn't see any settings for setting up a Bluetooth controller. Supposedly you should be able to use a Bluetooth controller similar to this one. So you can fly this quadcopter using actual controls. So it may have been left out in this version of the app, but it may come down the line. So, but yes, I noticed that there's no options here to set up the Bluetooth controller, and I've tried to pair this Bluetooth controller and fly it, and I was unsuccessful with that using an Apple device. So hopefully that will be addressed soon. So that's essentially it for the drone. Now, one interesting fact of the drone is that it has onboard storage. I believe it's about 4 gigs, so you don't need any SD card, and there's no SD card slot in there. And so the interesting thing is that when you push record, it's actually recording the video to the onboard storage, and when you finish, you can download it from the onboard storage onto your mobile device. And what that does is that gives you a clearer video transmission without skipped frames. So no frame skipping, since you're not recording footage that is just streamed to your device. It's actually saved directly onto the drone. So some of these other smaller quadcopters only save video on the phone that is just streamed in, and that causes some lag and some frame skips. But in this case, it doesn't. So that's pretty cool. And yeah, it is a pretty fast, agile flyer at the highest rates. It's a smooth flyer. It takes pretty clean pictures and videos. So let's take her for a flight and see how she performs.
Battery low. Please be careful. Extremely low battery. Commencing automatic landing now. Extremely low battery. Please recharge now.